out here. Well, I blinked. 20 years ago, I was you guys. I blinked and I'm 51 years old. And this is not about us. It's about you guys. And I'm the historian, so I'll give you a little history degree, little history story. 100 years ago, D.W. Griffith made a movie called Birth of a Nation. It was based on a play in a book called The Klansman. It was about white supremacy. He was a magnificent artist and filmmaker. He actually invented the idea of the motion picture and the close-up. So he was an artist who used his skills to push the South because he was a child of the South and he was still ruing over the fact that his grandfather was still pissed that they had lost. So he wanted to do something to lift back up his people. So he did this movie. And that movie was shown at the White House. And the president endorsed it and said it was a great movie. Why am I saying that? That was 100 years ago. And the people that fell for that looked like y'all, age-wise especially. And those are the people that carried on that idea because that stuck in their head, just like they do today. Just like you think you need a new iPhone because they told you so in the commercial. That's when that started. The idea of being able to use film. The first film, it was a silent one. That was actually a silent movie. The next movie that came after that, that was big, was Gone with the Wind. And that perpetuated that idea that I'm a monster. And I want to rape little white girls and eat you. And I want to kill black and white men for all they did. That's what made me a monster and you a monster and him a monster. And that's what the people that are in their 60s now, that with their mentality and that idea, that's where that comes from. Because that's what they watched on TV and that's what their grandfathers told them. Because that was the original first blockbuster movie. There was a black man, his name was William Trotter. He was a colleague of W.E.B. Du Bois. He started the first this. When they tried to bring it to Boston, he protested and lost. When they brought the play, The Klansman, he was successful a few years later, but by the time Griffith saw it and realized it could be used as a propaganda machine, and they brought it back to Boston and was accepted. Why is Boston important? Because one of the main people in Boston as far as immigrants were Irish. And how did the Irish get accepted into white society? By becoming what? Policemen. But in the beginning, they weren't, the Anglo-Saxon police wouldn't allow them to ride in the car, so they had to walk. So they were called what? Flatfoots. You ever hear that? Walking the beat. That's from them. And they carried a billy club to do that. And they put that in your head as well. I'm 51, so everybody in here is not going to remember Bugs Bunny. And Bugs Bunny, the cops. When the cops come, what do they talk with? An Irish accent. And what do they come to do? Kick behind. Sean Connery and Al Pacino and De Niro in Scarface. What role did Sean Connery play? The Irish cop who did what? Beat your tail. Go around to most of the major cities in this country today. Who is the chief of police? An Irishman. Why am I saying that? The mentality. Why did they do that? See, I'm a historian, so I do practical things. Why would the Irish do that? Well, they were being called mixed, because the same people that called me nigger called them mixed and called Jews kikes. That's the truth. So they had to figure out a way to get themselves, elevate themselves above us. Police. They also had to figure out a way to show the cops, the Anglo-Saxons, that they weren't like us. Kick our tails, and this is what, when you study Ireland, they were tribes who fought against each other, so they were already people who loved to fight. And why am I saying that? Because we see the police today doing the same thing. When they see you, I see this beautiful black man that could be my son. Because I have sons in your age, all of you in your age group, your 20s and 30s. I have children in that age group. So when I see you, the first thing I see is beautiful. But I know what they see when they see you. Monster. And where did that come from? It didn't just fall out the sky, it was invented. And why am I going through all of this? Because 100 years ago, it was called the Roaring 20s. And why was it called the Roaring 20s? Because kids your age said, to hell with that. We're not doing that anymore. Women started wearing mini dresses and flopping, and they were smoking marijuana and experimenting with things. And white people were sneaking up to Harlem against their parents' wishes and dancing at the Cotton Club to black music and getting to know one another. Just know one another. That's why it was called the Roaring 20s. And why am I saying that? Because nothing was coincidence. So here we are 100 years later, and here are a bunch of young people. So when this young man called me and asked, I came and said, what will I say, because I heard it was an anti-police rally. And my father was a policeman and my first hero, so I don't hate police. But I understand what happened to the police, because see, the idea of wanting to stand at the gate of your village and protect your village is a mighty, 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 mighty idea. It's beautiful, and it's the idea of that. This is where superheroes came from. A regular human being decides that I want to protect my village. You dig what I'm saying? I don't want to talk you out to death, so I'm going to stop there. Go and Google it, like my old librarian teacher says now. Google it, because she's tired of kids that don't come to the library anymore, so go Google it. I learned all that stuff in books the old way with the Dewey Decimal System. If you're my age, you will know what I'm talking about. But again, I say, this is your time. In 2000, I was 31 years old. So I lived 31 years in the 20th century. This is your century. Do not take what we said. Challenge everything we tell y'all. Challenge all of it. This is yours. It doesn't belong to us. You understand? So don't let us tell you what to do anymore. That's why it was called the Roaring 20s. So it's time to roar again, and the young people are the ones that roar. You understand? So I support their roaring 100%. And to keep it intact. And to keep these police that are around here that are weak and that are bad policemen, so that they know that we are still watching, I will leave you with this poem. It takes 41 bullets to quiet your fears. 41 times for your goosebump ears. 41 times I grew in your eyes. 41 times to shrink me to size. 41 times you thought you saw a gun. 41 times I didn't try to run. 41 times and Big Mouth Rudy still can say 41 times a grand jury should lead the way. 41 times you still get paid leave. 41 times my mother will have to grieve. 41 spheres of your fear you heard at me. 41 times my black skin was all you could see. 41 times to make you feel brave. 41 times I was a revenging slave. 41 times some lynch mob from your past moved like a spirit possessing your ass. 41 times you pulled out your rope. 41 times to strangle my throat. 41 times from 4 different cops. 41 times before one of you thought, stop! Stop. Stop. 41 times to make you feel calm. 41 times and I was never armed. 41 times for this racial schism to grow still more. 41 times more black blood spilled out on the floor. So yesterday I ordered 3 bulletproof vests. I have 3 boys to pass their tests. That's 3 boys with melanin in their skin, so I'm teaching them about reaching for anything wrong the waist, because I know you won't waste no time stealing their life from me. I'm letting them know how to turn around real slow, so you can know it's not the gun you see and send them home alive to me. I'm teaching them how to duck. In case you try their luck, duck boy, duck, duck and roll and run some more. I won't let them outside the door of my eyes view. I pray to be with them when they run into you. I'm jumping out of bed with visions in my head of dead phone calls and standing in dark halls at the morgue with 1 million mothers crying, dressed in their best black dress, wishing they'd ordered my bulletproof vest. Overprotective and paranoid too, but all I can do is all I can do. To keep my 3 sons safe from you, I'll make them allergic to policeman blue. What else can I do? I have 3 Amadeus and I wanna yell, cause they could be showing bell. What else can I do? I have 3 Amadeus and I'm falling on the ground, cause they could be my ground. What else can I do? I have 3 Amadeus and I think they got a plan. They could be Sandra Bland.